Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Krystal, what's on the show today?
I am pretty excited about our show today. We've got some good stuff. We've got a Texas GOP official who's going to talk about that state and whether that is in play for Democrats. We've got a reporter on the ground in Iowa who's going to tell us what's going on there and one county in particular that she's looking at. We've got new polling that's really interesting. So much good stuff to dig into today on Rising.
Good morning, everybody. Krystal, what's on your radar?
So I've got a little bit of breaking Yang Gang news this AM. Per a campaign source, entrepreneur Andrew Yang has seen quite a surge in donations since his breakout performance at this last debate. So here are the numbers as of last night. 38,376 donors have contributed more than $1 million to Andrew's campaign, again, just since the last debate. Importantly, the overwhelming majority of that money came from new donors to Yang. So 87% of the money came from 34,602 brand new Yang donors. Yang Gang looks like they got a whole lot of new members. Viewers of this show will know we've had several great conversations with Andrew about his diagnosis of the challenges facing the nation and also what he would do about it. We know you all enjoyed those convos because they were some of our most watched videos of all time. Here's a little bit of what Andrew told us about the central idea in his campaign back in June. So if you had like 1 60-second shot to make your case to the American people, what is it you want to convey?
It's a foundational idea of the campaign that the reason why Donald Trump's our president is that we automated away 4 million manufacturing jobs in Michigan, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Missouri, Iowa. And we're about to do the same thing to millions of retail jobs, call center jobs, fast food jobs, truck driving jobs, and on through the economy. We're in the midst of the greatest transformation in the history of our country, the fourth industrial revolution. That's what Donald Trump is a manifestation of, and that's why I'm running for president, to try and solve for that.
And here's the thing, Andrew is totally, completely right about automation. And this isn't like a maybe in the future automation is going to be a threat to jobs thing. The threat is here, it's real, and it's actually an undersold element of why our politics is so screwed up right now. So check this out. According to a study by UK economist Carl Fry for the Oxford Review of Economic Policy, Trump's support correlated with automation job loss. In fact, the author went so far as to say that without that robot-fueled job loss, HRC would have actually won. The economic stress brought by technology led more voters to embrace a more radical politics. And this is just the beginning, folks. Economists estimate that around half of all of our jobs are threatened by automation. So if you think technology is only coming for the blue-collar workers in some distant Rust Belt town, you are wrong. Accountants, lawyers, Instagram influencers, even a lot of coding will likely be automated. So we should really stop instructing all those out-of-work coal miners and journalists to learn to code. Andrew's idea for dealing with all of this is in a way fairly radical, but maybe not as crazy as you might think. Honestly, it's actually the simplest possible answer. Just give people money. If the robots are coming for our jobs, let them come. It's not like our obsessively work-focused lives are so amazing. There's lots of other things we could be doing with our time, people. Andrew says rather than some big government WPA-like program, let's reorient our social compact around making sure every American can lead a life of dignity, irrespective of their job status. The freedom dividend, that's Andrew's idea, a $1,000 monthly stipend to every single American, is the first big step on that path. Now, to me, what's most intriguing about Andrew's philosophy is that he exposes the lie that we live in a scarcity environment. We don't. There are plenty of resources in America. Poverty and the illusion of scarcity, though, are great tools for social control and oppression. If the pie is limited, if there's not enough for everyone, we all have to fight each other and work like dogs for our corporate overlords if we're going to keep our kids from starving. Now, this scarcity fiction makes it easy to pit urban against rural, or white against black, or native-born against immigrant. The freedom dividend is also actually a deeply American idea. Alaska residents today receive a stipend from the government for oil revenues. Richard Nixon embraced a version of universal basic income and even went so far as to launch pilot projects. MLK supported the universal basic income. And as Yang points out, even founding father Thomas Paine advocated for UBI. Whether you're down with the freedom dividend or not, though, Andrew has identified one of the central existential challenges of our time, and every candidate should have to answer what exactly they plan to do about it. Sagar, I cheer for Andrew to be on the stage making the case because I do think he's identified such an important problem. And in a certain sense, He's already won. UBI was not on the national map.
Yep.
It was not on the radar. And now people are having to talk about it, having to think about it, having to answer for it.
Andrew's doing what any kind of fringe candidate in a primary seeks to do, which is actually shift the conversation. And that's legitimately what he's done. The media attention that he's garnered on all of this has put a spotlight on the issues of automation that nobody else has done. I do have some problems with UBI and with Andrew's philosophy in particular. I mean, we interviewed him on the show. It was one of my favorite interviews that we've done. He's not as much of a person who wants to take on China. He has much more of an inclusionary view of technology with the Chinese than the others. And generally, this all comes from his more libertarian-minded philosophy that has its roots in UBI. And I think that is what the danger is. But it's interesting. Right? At least it's interesting. It's not Joe Biden's, complicated public option. It's not Kamala Care, Medicare for all kind of 10-year, just the same poll-tested nonsense. UBI is a simple idea. It's revolutionary, and it's shifting the conversation in the right direction.
And some of these people don't even identify the problem.
No.
And I mean, that's my thing is like, you can disagree with UBI, you can disagree with the solution, but at least he's forcing us to focus on the problem, which I think is a significant thing.